All right, so get this. Robot lawyers.
Robot lawyers.
Yeah. Have you ever actually thought about AI handling your legal stuff?
Hmm.
It's kind of wild, right? We're diving into this essay today. It's called The Rise of Robot Lawyers: Transforming the Legal Landscape.
Okay.
And it gets into how AI is changing the legal game.
Right.
Not just for lawyers themselves, but
Yeah.
for everyone. Access to legal help, how the law actually works, all of that.
It really is. It's going way beyond just basic automation now.
Right.
I mean, it used to be, okay, AI can automate some simple tasks.
Yeah.
But now it's like tackling the complex stuff that used to need, a human expert.
Yeah, totally. It's not just about replacing lawyers altogether, is it?
No, no.
It's more like, how is AI changing how the whole system functions?
Yeah, it's more like, think of it as this really sophisticated software.
Oh, okay.
That can analyze tons of legal info, give you advice, even create documents for you.
Mm.
So it's like augmenting the process, not replacing human lawyers entirely.
Gotcha, gotcha. So let's get down to brass tacks here. What can these robot lawyers actually do?
Okay.
This essay mentions this platform called DoNotPay.
Yeah.
It started out helping people fight parking tickets, right?
Right.
But now it's doing things like consumer rights disputes, contract issues.
Mm-hmm.
I even saw it does immigration matters. I
Yeah.
mean, that is a huge leap.
Oh, DoNotPay is a perfect example of how fast this tech is moving.
Yeah.
So it uses these powerful algorithms, and it's got machine learning, right?
Okay.
So it can actually analyze your specific situation and then kind of guide you through the legal steps you need to take.
So it's more than a basic chatbot.
Way more advanced,
Wow.
because it's actually understanding legal principles and then applying them to your case.
So it's really thinking.
Yeah.
That's really impressive. So what are some of the big pluses of using this kind of approach?
Okay.
I mean, besides, not having to wade through all that legal jargon yourself.
Right. Well, for a lot of people, one of the biggest things is the affordability.
Oh, yeah.
Because legal help is expensive. It's a huge barrier
Totally.
for a lot of people. So AI could make, legal help much more affordable for the average person.
Makes total sense. I mean, not everyone can afford a lawyer, especially for the everyday kind of legal issues that come up.
Yeah.
So that wider access to legal help, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
What else does the essay sort of bring up as an advantage?
So efficiency and speed, that's a big one too.
Okay.
Because AI can process info and create documents so much faster than humans.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy. So it means you could resolve these issues way faster.
I can totally see why that's appealing. I mean, nobody wants to be waiting for weeks just to hear back from a lawyer.
Yeah.
Let alone have them actually solve your issue.
Right, right.
So we've got cost, we've got speed, we've got access. Any other perks that the essay talks about?
There's also the consistency. Like human lawyers, they can, interpret things differently.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But an AI system, it's going to be consistent.
Right.
So it's giving guidance based on a ton of data and established legal principles.
That's a really interesting point. It's almost like it levels the playing field,
Yeah.
It's not about which particular lawyer you happen to have and what their interpretation is.
Exactly.
It's based on this huge amount of knowledge.
Yeah, and you think about it, this could really help people in rural areas.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or people with disabilities. Anyone who might struggle to actually get to a lawyer.
Right.
So it could really democratize the system.
That's a powerful thought. But the essay doesn't, paint a completely rosy picture, does it?
No.
What about the potential downsides of relying on AI for legal help?
Right. So there are some challenges. One of them is this idea of unauthorized practice of law.
What does that mean?
So in a lot of places, only licensed attorneys can give legal advice
Okay.
legally. And it's not clear where AI fits into all that.
So it's kind of in this gray area right now.
Totally gray area.
Yeah.
It's a major hurdle for people who want to use AI in law.
I see.
Because the legal system itself hasn't really caught up with the tech.
Interesting. What other concerns did the essay raise?
Well, there's also the question of whether an algorithm can really get the nuances of a legal case like a human lawyer can.
Okay.
Because a lot of cases involve really subtle things.
Yeah.
Human behavior, emotions,
For sure.
context.
Yeah.
And those are things that an AI might miss.
That's where I start to hesitate a little bit. It makes you wonder, can AI really grasp all those complexities? Or will it miss things a human would catch?
Right, and that leads into another big question, accountability.
Yeah.
What happens if the AI gives bad advice?
Ooh, good point.
Who's responsible?
Right.
The AI, the programmers, the person using it. It's like uncharted territory.
It's a huge ethical dilemma. And like a legal puzzle, really, to figure out where the liability lies when you've got AI in the mix.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a big one.
And then you've got the data privacy issue.
Oh, right.
When you're dealing with legal stuff, it's sensitive information.
Totally.
So how do you make sure that data is protected when AI is handling it?
That's crucial. We can't let, all the convenience and speed overshadow, basic privacy.
Right. You can't. These are all challenges, they need to be thought through carefully
Yeah,
as the tech develops,
for sure.
but they're not impossible to overcome.
Okay.
We can find solutions
Right.
as AI gets, more sophisticated
Yeah.
and as we understand it better.
So what does the essay see as the future of lawyering, considering all this? All these challenges and these advancements?
Well, it's not so much about replacing human lawyers.
Okay.
It's more like we're going to see this partnership,
Oh, interesting.
collaboration.
So almost like robot lawyers as partners.
Yes, partners, not
Mm.
replacements.
Gotcha.
So the AI could handle things like the research,
Uh-huh.
drafting the documents,
Yeah.
giving basic advice.
Okay.
And that frees up the human lawyers to do the really complex stuff
Right, right.
where their expertise is super important.
So it's like play to everyone's strengths.
Exactly.
AI does the heavy lifting, and then the human lawyers come in with, that human touch, the judgment, the strategy.
Right. The empathy, all that stuff that's so important in law.
Exactly.
And this applies to legal education too.
Oh, interesting. How so?
As AI becomes more common, law schools are going to have to teach this stuff.
Yeah.
How to use these new tools.
It's a good point. Even if you're not going to be a lawyer, understanding this, how AI is changing things, it's becoming so important.
It is. This is shaping the future of law.
Yeah.
It's important to be aware of what it can do and what the challenges are.
It sounds like we're at the very beginning of a massive shift in how law works.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it is. It really is changing fast. What are your thoughts on the essay's main takeaway?
I keep coming back to that idea of access, right?
Yeah.
These robot lawyers could really change who can actually get legal help.
Yeah.
The essay made it clear traditional lawyers, they're pricey.
Oh, for sure. And that leaves a lot of people out. It's a problem.
Totally. For lots of people, even simple legal stuff feels out of reach because of the cost.
Yeah.
And that impacts everything, their lives, their businesses, even their families,
Absolutely. The ripple effect is huge.
Exactly. And that's why this whole robot lawyer thing is so interesting to me.
Yeah.
If it can make legal help more affordable,
Right.
more accessible to people who just couldn't afford it otherwise, that's a big deal.
It's think about the early days of the internet. All this information that was locked up.
Yeah.
Only certain people could get it.
Right.
And then boom, it's available to everybody.
Yeah.
AI could do the same thing for legal stuff. It's democratizing access, giving people more power.
It is. It's a really good comparison. But we can't forget about those challenges we talked about,
Okay.
that whole gray area with the unauthorized practice of law, concerns about is the advice even good?
Yeah.
Accountability, all that. Do those things outweigh the good stuff?
It's something to think about for sure.
Yeah.
But I also think these challenges, they're not new.
What do you mean?
The legal system has always had issues, right? Access, cost, even just the quality of the service you get,
So you're saying AI is shining a light on problems that were already there?
Yeah, kind of. But it's also offering solutions, potentially.
How so?
Well, if AI can take over the routine tasks,
Yeah.
I said, the research, the documents, that kind of thing, then human lawyers are freed up to do what they're best at, the more complicated stuff.
It's not about getting rid of the human element. It's more making it better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as AI gets smarter,
Yeah.
I think we're going to see even more innovation.
What? Give me an example.
Imagine AI that can analyze all the case law, all those past decisions,
Okay.
and actually predict how a case might turn out.
Wow.
Or AI tools that help people, settle their disagreements without going to court.
It sounds like we're really on the edge of a huge change in how we even think about legal help.
I think so.
But how does this, like, affect the average person listening to this?
I think the biggest thing is awareness.
Okay.
Even if you aren't, like, dealing with lawyers every day,
Right.
this is going to affect your life.
Yeah.
So staying informed about how the tech is changing, that's key.
Like they say, knowledge is power.
Exactly. The more you understand, the better prepared you'll be. What else? I'd say be open to new things. AI is already changing how we, like, interact with the legal system.
Yeah.
So, explore those new options. Online platforms, AI tools, don't be afraid of them.
Be open to change. I like it.
Yeah. And one last thing. This is important.
Okay.
Remember that your voice matters.
In what way?
We're all figuring out this new world.
Right, right.
And that includes how AI fits into it, especially in the legal system.
Yeah.
So speak up. Share your thoughts, your concerns, your ideas.
Mhm.
They matter.
I like that. It reminds us that we're not just, like, along for the ride.
Right.
We can actually shape how this all plays out.
Exactly. If we have these conversations, if we push for AI to be developed and used responsibly, then it can benefit everyone.
That's well said. This whole deep dive has really given us a lot to think about.
It has. Lots of big questions.
Before we wrap up, I want to go back to that question from the essay, the one that really gets you thinking.
Okay.
Would you trust a robot lawyer with your legal issues? Yeah, it makes you think, where do you draw the line? Like, I see how this tech could, help more people get legal help.
Yeah.
But handing your legal problems over to an algorithm, I don't know.
It's a big step.
It is. It feels like a big step.
Yeah. It's understandable to feel that way.
Yeah.
I mean, legal stuff, it's personal.
Totally.
It's your life,
Yeah.
So being cautious about, like, technology getting involved in that, it makes sense.
So where do you stand? Like, what would make you comfortable? Or what would make you say, nope, not for me?
I think for me, it would depend on a few things.
Like what?
Like transparency.
Okay.
I'd want to know how the AI works,
Yeah.
what data it's using, how it's making decisions,
That makes sense.
and then accountability. Like,
Yeah.
if something goes wrong, who's to blame?
Right.
Can I talk to a human about it?
Right.
Those things would be important to me.
I think transparency is key.
Yeah,
Like, people need to understand what's going on, behind the scenes.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Especially with something this important. And accountability, too, like you said.
Yeah.
We can't just assume that AI is always going to get it right.
Right.
There needs to be a way to deal with mistakes, hold the right people accountable.
And even with all the amazing technology, I think most people still want a human being involved
Oh, I think so.
to talk to get guidance from, especially with legal stuff.
Right. It's about finding that balance, I think,
Yeah.
between, the AI's efficiency
Uh-huh.
and that human element, the empathy, the judgment.
Exactly. It goes back to what we were talking about before. It's not about replacing lawyers.
Right.
It's about giving them tools to do their job even better.
And making sure that everybody, no matter who they are or what their situation is,
Yeah.
can get good legal help. That's what we should be aiming for.
Well said. This deep dive has really made me think differently about the future of law.
Me too. It's a really fascinating area.
It is. It's exciting and a little bit scary all at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
For everyone listening, stay curious. Keep learning about this stuff. It's changing fast, and it's going to affect all of us. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.